All right, here we go. So, welcome to How to Manifest Things for 2017. How to manifest things in your life for 2017. I'm so excited that you are here. Hey, Amanda, how are you?
Oh, hi. Can you see me?
I can. Can you do me a
Oh,
favor,
great.
though?
I haven't done my hair or anything.
Can you do me a favor, though? But can you mute your side? Can you mute
So,
your?
hang on. That's done now, eh?
Let me see. Oh, I can mute you. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Okay, perfect. Okay, cool. All right. So if you could put in the chat box, tonight we're talking about how to manifest things in 2017. So tell me one thing that you want to create in 2017. So for the next 30 minutes, ladies, take this time to do you. That means find a comfy spot to listen to this call from. Get your tea, your coffee, or even your wine ready by your side. Have some lit candles there, or even some meditation music in the background. Shut off your phone and close out those tabs on your computer. And just be here with me. I promise you will get more from this call if you set out this kind of surrounding for yourself. I call this my sacred space. It's somewhere I can get away from everything and just be with myself and whatever I'm listening to. I even have my journal next to me, so pause the call right now if you need to and set your space up. Don't worry, we'll be here. But for you who are listening live, stay right there because we only have 30 minutes. So that's for the listeners on the recording. So I'm just going to keep popping in and seeing. All right. So let me introduce myself. I'm Denise Dominguez. I'm a women's empowerment coach. I help women get out of their shit and help move them through the process to get to who they really are. I help women create a life that they love and adore. And I've done this for myself. I coach women on resolving unhealthy relationships so that they can live a life of freedom, joy, and abundance. I help women embrace who they are so they can be free to create results they desire in their business, life, and relationships. I host a radio show on Blog Talk Radio called It's Your Turn Radio. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's your turn. It's all about you. And I'm also a speaker and soon to be international speaker. Pretty excited about that. That will happen. One of my set out goals for 2017. But life wasn't always this amazing for me. In fact, there was a time when I would cry myself to sleep nearly every night because I was so unhappy with my life. After 22 years of being in a very toxic marriage, I decided it was time to leave. I left and moved 3 states away with no job and manifested $10,000 to leave Florida. And that's not including the money that I spent in Colorado for 10 days on vacation. I did this in only 5 months. I made a plan and followed it and did everything I set out to do. I became an empowerment coach after knowing I wanted to help women get out of that same stuck space that I was in. It's been my focus and goal ever since. So I want to tell a story of the first time that I actually chose me, and that was the Colorado trip that I just mentioned. So the story goes that an opportunity came to me from my daughter, of all people, and so picture this. I had already left, and I was saving money, manifesting money, doing what I needed to do to have, because my goal was $10,000. That was the amount I had in my head that would suit me. And I was in transition between Florida and North Carolina. So I wasn't to North Carolina yet, I wasn't out of Florida. And I was in between, getting ready and making that move. Big move. Because Florida's my home state, it's where I'm from. My whole family's there. So my daughter came to me and said, Mom, her best friend who was in Colorado, they need help moving back down to Florida. So Mom, let's fly out to Colorado and we're going to help them move, and then we're going to drive from Colorado all the way down to South Florida. Well, the first thought that came to my head was, no way. Like, I need all the money that I can get my hands on in order to do this move. So just to remind you, if you don't know, I didn't have a job in Florida. I was running his business. And so I didn't have no income coming in for myself. Every check I wrote out for the business was to pay the bills, or the bills of the house or the bills of the business. So when my daughter said this to me, instantly that was my first thought. No, I can't. I need to save money. And then my second thought was this. Okay, Denise, if you were still with him, he wouldn't allow you to do this trip. He would absolutely say no. So I would be restricted then. And so then my thought was, okay, so I couldn't do it then, and now I don't have him. So now I have the freedom to say yes, and I'm still saying no because of money, which was in reality just an excuse. So in that moment, I chose me, and I said yes. And I let go of how I was still going to be able to leave Florida with $10,000. And I just thought, somehow, some way, I'm going to have the money, the set amount that I had in my head, which was the $10,000. So I said yes. I said yes to the trip, and I booked the flight. I booked the flight to Colorado, and I stayed 10 days, like I said, in Colorado. And I'd never been in Colorado at that point. Amazing 10 days, amazing trip, great time, what an experience. I mean, I can't even tell you how happy I am that I said yes and I chose me. So I tell that story over and over again to different, people or clients, because I want you to really get that the power of saying yes. And this is part of how you manifest things. If you want something, whatever that is, you say yes to it first and then figure out all the stuff later. So I said yes to the trip first, and then I figured it out later. And I still left Florida with the $10,000 that I had in my head to leave with. Everything worked out perfectly. I got this great experience in Colorado, visited a state I'd never been to before, bonded with my daughter's best friend's mom, who is now one of my very, very dear friends. Actually, she's getting married this July, and I am going to be in her wedding. So, I mean, it was an experience of a lifetime, and I would not take that back for anything. And I'm also able to share that lesson with you. So that's just one example of how you can manifest things into your life. So my credentials, let's talk about how I can help you. As I described, I wasn't always living this kind of life. There were many nights that I cried myself to sleep because I was so unhappy with my life and the way that it was going. I would never think of being grateful. I was always complaining and what was going on, and not having enough money, or my relationships with people that were around me, not just my ex, my sisters, my parents, just in general. And so how I can help you is showing where I was in life and how I crawled out of that and where I am now and how I did that. So living a happy life, having healthy relationships around me now, setting healthy boundaries, and saying yes or no with grace and ease. I am not that same girl I was 5 years ago. Thank you. So let me give you the cliff notes to my story so you can really get where I was and relate to that. And then I'm going to show you how I got out of that and got to where I am now. So I really want you to get the field energy of where I was. My divorce story is where this all started. Like every divorce, it sucked. And it had all the ingredients of a Lifetime movie. Not only was there a divorce, but there was mental illness, suicide attempts, anger, love, passion, and a string of emotions along the way. It was through my painful divorce that I built my coaching business. Through my mistakes, struggles, and ultimately triumphs, I am now helping women all over the world with their stories. Through my coaching, online interview series, radio show, books, and speaking, I am able to help these women heal themselves and their past stories in order for them to create a life that they now love and adore. But I had to do the work on me first in order for me to truly be able to help others. And one of the first things I did, one of the first things that I had to do was look inward and put the focus on me. And that was a life changer right there. And so I want to kind of dive into that for a second. For many, many, many years, I was constantly trying to fix him and fix our marriage and keep everything together. I was trying to save and just rescue him and rescue, our marriage, and thought that that was the answer. That's what I needed to do in order to fix this, what was going on. And I was always pointing the finger and pointing out all of his flaws and what he was doing wrong or what he should do, blah, 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 blah. Until one day I realized that I needed to look at me and fix what was going on inside of me. Because the reality is that I attracted him into my life for a reason. And that reason is that everybody that we have a relationship with is mirroring to us the things that we cannot see about us. So everything that I was pointing out to him were all the parts of me that I could not see about me. All right. So we only have 30 minutes. So I want to give you as much as possible in the next 30 minutes. I want to show you how I manifested $10,000 to leave Florida and move to North Carolina and get away from my 22-year toxic relationship and created a beautiful life for myself. I want you to really get where I was, because I was in a space of feeling heavy and I didn't know anything about coaching then. I didn't even know what coaching was, and still managed to take myself out of that bad situation and move right out of the state and start all over again. So I don't know where you are in life, but you can make things happen in 2017. When I manifested the biggest things in my life, I was so stuck, and I had been stuck for many, many years. I had a broke mindset, and I still created $10,000 to leave Florida. I was scared with a scarcity mindset, and I still did it. Because the key to being in that space of consciousness and moving yourself out and still being able to create is determination. To be so determined that I am going to make this happen. 2017 is going to be my year to shine, my year to roar. Hear me roar, universe, because that is what I demand. This is what I want, and this is what I am creating. 2017 is my year to prosper like never before. That's the mindset you have to have for yourself in order to manifest things into your life. So the first thing you need to do is don't worry about how stuck you are right now. how long you've been broke, how many unhealthy relationships you have in your life right now. None of that matters. Do you hear this? None of that matters. You can still create a life of gold, a year of hearts, a year of manifesting, even from that space, because that's where I was. And I wouldn't be able to say that unless I did it myself, unless I proved to myself that the only way I can, with all my heart, tell this to you, the only way. I was in a scarcity mindset. I was broke. I was scared and had lots of messed up relationships all around me. I came from that and still made things happen. So you can too. Because I was so determined to start a new life for myself, and it all started with choosing me. And that's why I tell that story of Colorado, because that was literally the first time that I chose me. I thought of what I wanted to do. I said yes to something that I wanted to do. For so many years, I was always thinking about, well, what about this one and that one? And I can't, and I have this. And I made a choice for me. And that's when things started to shift and change. Choosing me as a priority, knowing that I was worth it, whatever it was, knowing that I could do it. I didn't know how, and you don't have to worry about the how. You must believe and you must know that it is possible. It is possible. You can't have it all. Now, when you set out your goals for 2017, you also have to be realistic that these things take time. So like I said, I had a plan and it took me 5 months, even with being in that broke mindset and being so scared and not having a job and all of those. 5 months, not a long time. So you got to be realistic. So it took me 5 months to manifest that $10,000 and move to Florida and into North Carolina. So you also must be patient with yourself and love yourself through this process. This is going to take time. So what I mean by that is when you make a list, things pop up on my computer. When you make a list of the things that you want to create in 2017, you're going to take the first 3 as a priority, and those are the ones that you're going to work on. So the top 3 that you must have. So let me pop over here. Oh, we got some more people. Hey, everybody. So let me, how do I do that and that? Okay, cool. So I muted you guys. If you can put stuff in the chat box, I asked in the beginning. Let me see, where was I? Tell me one thing that you want to create in 2017. All right, so where was I? Yes, top 3 things that you must have. So I know you have those thoughts in your head right now. What are the top 3 things that you want, that you must have for 2017? And you work on those. So how I manifested the $10,000 and moved from Florida to North Carolina there was a series of steps that I did. First, that determination, that feeling and that energy inside of me that this is going to happen. Like, I don't know how, but this is going to happen. You're setting the intention to the universe that this is what's going to happen. And to not think about how it's going to happen. You really need to just take one step at a time. So for me, my step was to manifest that $10,000. But in the meantime, I already booked the moving truck. So that was a sign and an action step towards the universe to say, this is going to happen. And I put a date on it. So there's a long story to this, but the first time when we left Florida, we left in July. So I booked the truck for a date in July, and that was the date that we were going to pick it up, pack it up, and moving on out. And how I manifested the $10,000 was, again, I set the intention. This is how much I'm going to have on this date. So I set a date for the moving truck, and on that date, I was going to have $10,000. And I did. So when I swiped my card to pay for the Penske truck, the moving truck, was the first time that I dipped into my $10,000. So I manifested this money by setting the intention and having a clear thought in my mind that this is the amount that I'm going to have on this date, and then work towards that. So yeah, I sold stuff and I did stuff. I took action steps to get this $10,000, but I had that $10,000. And like I said, that's not including the money that I had for Colorado, that I was there for 10 days. So how I manifested my coaching business and continue to manifest is all the same. You set the intention and you put dates and you work towards that. So one thing that I did when I was in Florida is I visualized myself every single day. I mean, I would do it alone and in my alone space, but I also did it periodically throughout the day. You have to spend time on visualizing yourself already having what you're wanting to create. So for me, what I was trying to create was being out of the situation that I was in Florida, right? Which was the toxic relationship and the chaos and the drama and the trauma and all of that, and move myself to North Carolina and have peace and happiness. Okay? So I visualize that every day. So the one thing that always sticks out in my head that I visualized was me sitting on my couch, my space, and holding a cup of tea in my hand, and just being like in my living room and sitting on the couch. And for some reason, I always visualized a throw blanket over my shoulders, right? So I'm just sitting on the couch and I'm just relaxing and I'm visualizing this. And now when you visualize, you want to get detailed and use your 5 senses and get as much detail as you possibly can. So for me, my details were I would smell a certain scent, because this is what my living room, my apartment was going to smell like. And I remember visualizing the things on the wall that I would have. So my pictures or my favorite quotes or sayings and pictures and frames, these are things that I would see on my wall in my new apartment, in my space. And then, because I was trying to create peace and happiness, when I would visualize, I would feel that peace and happiness while I was sitting on the couch and while I was holding my cup of tea and while I was smelling this and while I was, tasting the hot tea and feeling and smelling and seeing and hearing. So I would hear quietness. I would see the pictures on my walls. So you use all 5 of your senses when you visualize. This is how you create. Okay? So I like to tell this story because this was the first time that I actually manifested something positive in my life and huge. And like I said, I was coming from such a chaotic space that it just proves to you that you can come from that and still create this. It's possible. So let me pop over to you guys, and there should be a chat box, but I don't see. I guess nobody wrote in it. Okay, awesome. So are you ready to make 2017 your best year yet? I know I am. Are you ready to make things happen like I did? Are you ready to witness some freaking magic in your life? I'm going to show you how to make your dreams come true in 2017, a reality. But there's a catch to this. There's a catch to all of this. And the catch is that you must choose you as a priority. You must be committed to this, which in turn means you're committed to you. So you first have to ask yourself that. Are you committed to you? Are you committed to having what you want out of this life? So when I was in that place, in that space in Florida, I guess that's where the determination came from. I was just so determined, and I was committed to do whatever it took because I was committed to me. I was committed to creating a new life for myself, and nothing and nobody was going to stand in my way. So there were some challenges and hurdles along the way, but my determination just blew right through them. And that's the space that you need to come from when you want to manifest things in your life, when you want to create something in your life. You've got to be so determined and really feel that you're worthy of having your life, whatever it is that you're trying to create. Okay? So for me, it was simply peace and happiness. Like everything else that I created after was just like icing on the cake. I literally did not even imagine that I would have what I have now. So for me, it was just peace and happiness. I was pretty content with my little 2-bedroom apartment, right? Because it was in North Carolina, and I had finally had peace and happiness in my life. There was no chaos that I was dealing with. There was no trauma and drama. I wasn't cleaning up anybody's messes. I was all the way separate from that. And I was doing what I want, when I want. I was traveling more. Colorado, not only Colorado, California, wherever I wanted to, back and forth to Florida. These are things that I was doing because I wanted to do them. So you must believe that all of this is possible and that you are worthy of having it all. Extremely important. You got to have the energy of bring it on, baby. I can't wait to see what is waiting for me in 2017, and I'm excited to see it. So again, I'm going to ask, because these are the questions that you need to ask yourself in order for you to create. Are you ready to make 2017 your best year yet? If you are, great. Like, that's a start. Are you ready to make things happen? Are you ready to witness some magic in your life? Because literally, when you manifest things, you're like, holy crap, this is magic. And then everything that comes along with it. So if you're ready, you're here for a reason. You're listening to this for a reason. You're connected with me for a reason. So the month of December, I'm gifting 90-minute coaching calls, complimentary. It is my Christmas gift to you. So if you haven't taken advantage of that, please do. All you have to do is, if you're connected with me on Facebook or any social media or my email, just hit reply and get in touch with me, and I'll send you the link and we will connect. So this is my Christmas gift to you. I would love to show you even more in more detail of how to manifest things in 2017. I would love to have a one-on-one conversation with you for 90 minutes and really dive deep into what it is that you want to create for yourself and show you how to do that. So, are you ready to make 2017 your best year yet? Are you determined and committed to you to make things happen? Because for me, all of the other years prior to me actually having the courage to leave, I was stuck. And I made every excuse in the book of why I needed to be there, or why I couldn't leave, or why I didn't have the money, or why this, blah, 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 blah. Excuses, all of them. It was when I was so fed up and ready to do something about it, make that change in me. And for me, the first thing that I had to do was totally separate myself from Florida in that situation. I had to get out of the state. For you, it's different. But the thing is that you have to be determined and committed to you. Because if you're not, nobody can do this for you. You got to be ready to make things happen. You got to be ready to see some magic happen in your life. You got to have that attitude to bring it on, baby. So thank you so much for being here. We are already at 32 minutes. I am just so super stoked that you showed up for you, because that is your first sign of taking care of you. I'm going to unmute you guys, and if anybody has any questions, please go ahead and ask away. I would love to answer them. We got 3 people, and everybody's phone numbers, area code starts with 6. So, I mean, all I do is just pop in and ask.
Denise?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Elise. Can you just say again what the coach call, how you access that?
So you have my email. You can just email me, or if you're on social media, you can just connect with me there, and I'll send you the link. And then the link,
okay.
Schedule a call, and it's 90 minutes long, and it's just you and me one-on-one.
Okay.
So I have your email, Elise, so I'll just send you the link.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, no problem. Anybody else? Seven 797. Do you have any questions? All right. Amanda, do you have any last things you want to say or have any questions?
Hi, thank you. It's nice to see you and talk with you again.
It's good to see you.
Yeah, I like the way you were saying about it is going to happen and you intend it, and you're quite like, well, you know, universe sort it, because I'm just saying it's happening, so bring it on.
Very good. Yes. You know,
Yeah, that was
it takes things to happen in our life where we get to a point where we're just fed up with all of the crap that we've been through, and we just want to make things happen. So you got to get to that point. That's what it was for me. I had to get to that point where that's where the courage comes from. That's where you're like, I'm ready. I don't know how this is going to happen, but it's going to happen. When you come from that space, that's when the universe provides it for you.
When you don't have to try and find all the answers, that you just let go and surrender, sort of.
Absolutely. That's right.
Okay. I'll work
That's
on it.
exactly right. So I don't know if you heard, Amanda, but for the month of December, I'm giving 90-minute coaching calls one-on-one. So you can connect with me. I mean, I have your email. I can send you the link if you want. It's my Christmas gift that I'm giving.
Oh, that's nice. 90 minutes is a long time.
I know. It is.
Yeah.
I want to spark that change.
Nice. Huh?
I want to spark that change in you.
Oh, nice. I am capable of sparking it myself, but I like it that someone cares and wants it to happen too.
Awesome. So
and I do see that. I'll have a look and say thanks. I'm in between houses at the moment, so it's a little hard for me to commit, but I might be able to do something. We'll have a look and see, eh? Thank you.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure. It's my honor, actually. So we're going to get shut down in about 4 minutes, so I want to give a proper goodbye. Thank you, ladies, for being here live and choosing you, because that's important. And that is just you showing up and showing the universe that you are worthy and you're ready. And to the listeners who are going to be listening on a replay, thank you so much for playing this. And if you're ready, you know how to get in touch with me, and I'll be more than happy to send you the link, and let's do a 90-minute one-on-one. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for showing up.
See you soon.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.